Good morning, pregame crew. How are y'all doing? Hi, Tammy, Topher, Hamburglar, Jorge. How are y'all doing? Audio visual check, please. Good morning, good morning. Volume is definitely dropping off in the markets and on the pre-game show with this end of week slow action. I can tell a lot of people have taken off, and that's what fed into yesterday's melt up, is as we talked about yesterday, that they can really just take the market up on really low volume. By the way, you hear me? Thank you. Hi, Mary. Thanks, Jorge. Nicholas, Amira, Asia. You're back in action? Awesome. I don't think so, Nicholas. Nicholas is asking, is it too late to scalp Roblox or Microsoft for calls this week? I don't think so. I think you could. Good morning, Karkuki. I'm getting started a little bit early, so if you're watching this later in the day, if you want to just fast forward 5 minutes and get over the small talk, I get it. My feelings won't be hurt. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Good morning, Veronica. It really is. Karkuki, it's funny you say that. He says only 40 of us are here. We have a TCG indicator that we jokingly call the TCG indicator. When we put our threads up for people to ask for ticker request, if we don't have a lot of requests, it shows us there's very low volume in the market. Of course, it's not always correct, but it typically has a very strong correlation, and we can tell it's going to be a low volume day. And I'm also associating that now with the pregame show. So with the pregame show, if we don't have a lot of viewers, it tells me to expect a low volume day. Stephen, so my settings, I go in here on pivots high-low, and I change the border color to black and background to black, and then my text is white. So you have to go under style and change it. And I do 3 and 3. Dan does 5 and 5. I just want to see a little bit more of the values, but you can change it to 5 and 5, and you'll just see just a little less value, so your chart is not crowded. But I like the 3 setting. So that's my pivot high-low. And I like to use this average true range here. Just want to show you what this is since we're talking about indicators. So on the daily, it feels as though we're extended, right? And we can't trade on feelings. I want to show you. Typically, you'll see a pullback. Look here. You will see a pullback at 3 standard deviations away from the mean. Look at this. We got outside that 3 Keltner channel. So a Keltner channel, 1 channel represents 1 standard deviation, 2 channels. Oh, I forgot to do the link. Tammy, that's what's wrong. Thank you. Let me tweet that out. Forgot to do that. If you want to follow me, I'm Chart Gallery on Twitter. So when we step outside the Keltner channel, so 1 channel is 1 standard deviation, 2 channel, 2 standard deviation, and as we know, 3 channel on a normal bell curve, that's highly improbable and difficult. So here, when we step outside that 3rd Keltner channel, typically you can expect a pullback. Look where the 3rd Keltner channel is. This 3 standard deviation move is up at 4882. And that also matches up, oh, that's convenient, with the 1.618 extension at 4881. That is my target for ES. Then I would be looking bearish. Because remember, RSI doesn't matter anymore. RSI matters, but to a much lesser degree when you're in all-time high territory. Why not? Why does it not matter? Because we have no baggage overhead. We have no sellers holding bags overhead that causes that undue pressure to price. We don't have that overhead. I really appreciate you, Tammy. That's why we don't have a lot of people. I didn't send out the link. No, it's not the same as a Bollinger Band, Jorge. I should probably stop there and just say that I am definitely not the expert. A Bollinger Band and Keltner channel is based on average true range. So again, it's not my absolute expertise digging into these indicators. So I like the Keltner channel because it's clear to me, average true range. So if the average movement is $10, then I'll have $10, $20, and $30. Then I know then we're really stepping outside of that average true range. So look at RSI. We're only at 62 on the daily. Now on the hourly, we're definitely extended. On the hourly, our RSI is 76, and we're just grazing this Keltner channel. But do you see how we're just walking it up? We're getting over it, coming back in, walking it up. So it's not like we're really piercing that Keltner channel and going way outside above it. So I like to just continue to remind myself of what is extended, I'm saying that in quotation marks, versus what's just a bull move. So 4881 is my target on ES. Good morning. Hi, Raw, Lynx, Mo. You are, Jorge. You're great. Okay. We are ready to get started. It is 8:30 Mountain Time. It is December 28th, and you see I'm off my game. Normally, I've already told the time and the date. I'm Chart Gal Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community, and we teach technical analysis. So if you're interested in learning more about technical analysis, we have a special here at the end of the year. You can get any 2 courses, no promo code needed, and those courses could either be essential candlesticks, entries and exits, or entries and exits in crypto. Any combination or permutation of these 3 courses you can get for $179.99, and there is no promo code needed at this time. And we're talking about when this will end. I believe it will end Sunday, but don't quote me on that. So get those courses if you're interested. The entries and exits course is a great way of teaching you the TA plus the fishing pole. It gives you fishing poles on how to get those setups and nail those entries. All right, so on ES, we are melting up. We had talked about yesterday, we were watching this zone. I'll just put it as a line this time instead of a rectangle. This zone around 16457. On any pullback, please watch that level. It was that prior resistance is where a lot of supply went off. So now when we come back, price has memory. And I would look for bulls to initially defend that level, barring any crazy news that we would have. So the more that I'm going to say it wrong, so just excuse me, but the more the Omicron variant is, the more they report that it's mild, it's not as severe. I don't want to minimize anything to do with COVID because it's awful. So I'm choosing my words carefully. But the more news that comes out about it's not as severe as the Delta variant, that softens the news blow we initially had that brought some of these pullbacks. And also the 10-day quarantine now pulled back to 5-day. Again, the market's interpreting that as positive news, but we don't need to know anything about what they are or are not interpreting. The most important thing is price. And right now, there is nothing bearish about all-time highs. Say it with me. There is nothing bearish about all-time highs. So what I do on the pregame show is I go over the indices, crypto, commodities, and movers and shakers of the day. We have an odd day, folks, a really odd day. We don't have a lot of news. So our news channel typically has 50, 60, 70 posts in the morning. Look at this. We have 1. That's it, 1. 1 post. I don't see any earnings. I'm sure there are some small companies that are having earnings out there, but they're not coming up in my scans, and we just don't have a lot of acquisitions. Even biotech news is somewhat scarce. So that restricts me to only TA setups. I always tell you I like to find a news setup that matches with the technical setup, and especially if it has a high short float, and then boom, we have magic. Y'all remember some of the magical setups we had this year? You remember AMC at $10? That was a magical setup. Clovis, that was a magical setup, because the stars aligned. And those are the ultimate queen of the mountains for me. So today, all I have for you are TA setups. That doesn't mean they're any less quality, but I'm just letting you know that we don't have a lot of volatility related to news this morning, and I would expect that to continue all week. Okay, let's see. Sorry. When I forget to send a link, everybody gets topsy-turvy. Thank you, MG. I appreciate you being here. You have no idea. Yeah, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. So what am I watching today? What is the story of the day? It is Apple. It is Apple for me. So I'm going to zoom out here. Sorry for the busyness, but 182.13 is the all-time high for Apple. That is not the most important level for Apple. The most important Apple, my contention is 182.86. That's where it would mark a $3 trillion market cap. And we've talked about this before. This is what I consider to be a word I'm using, synthetic resistance, synthetic resistance. So we talked about it here. We got a beautiful short on it. We talked about it here. We got a beautiful short on it. We're approaching that level again. So if Apple clears 182.13, it's only blue skies ahead. So there should be no selling pressure overhead besides sellers opening up the short, but we have no bag holders overhead. So RSI won't matter as much. But what will matter is the synthetic resistance of 182.86. And then I want to kind of zoom in here and show you something else that I want to make sure we're all seeing. So the actual high on December 16th was 181.14. In pre-market, we had a high of 181.25. We marked that high and said, hey, this is a nice level top fish for Apple. And then down she went. Okay, so 181.14 is what's going to show up on your regular trading hours. There. On 4 hour, we have a little sneak level above that, 181.25. Then, of course, the all-time high at 182.13. And then we've got an extended hours level there of 182.22 and then 182.86. Yeah, that's a lot of levels. What the heck are you talking about, lady? So this 182.86 could mark the temporary top of the market. Let's look at Nasdaq. So here, when Nasdaq broke out to an a higher high on December 16th, and Apple could not. See that on December 16th? Apple could not. And then down she went with Nasdaq down. So this Apple level is going to be crucial, absolutely crucial, that we can clear that level today if we're going to proceed higher. It is my perspective that I will be very hands-off the first 30 minutes, very hands-off. And by the way, if you're interested in my chart setup, it's on the screen now. I'm going to take it off because God knows I need the real estate. So I'm going to take it off. So 4804 is your first resistance, and then 4881 was that level of 1.618, and that means we're up in that 3 Keltner channel level that I talked about. So let me go over that one more time. So this is Keltner channel average true range on the daily. So 488250 would be the 3 level standard deviation for the Keltner channel, and that matches up with the 1.618. Do I think we can get to 4881 by Friday? Anything is possible, especially in a low volume environment. Anything is possible. Odds favor that we're going to get some cooling off. ES is in all-time high territory, but guess what isn't? This is bothering me, just one second. It's so crazy how the stuff that you need. All right, I need that right there. It's driving me nuts. ES is in all-time territory, but Nasdaq is not. Nasdaq is not in all-time territory, 167650. And if you've been here a while, you know what else I'm going to say. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy when you get this close, in this close proximity to an all-time high, you nail it. It acts like a magnet and sucks it up to it. So please remember how close we are in proximity to all-time high. Now, if we were to fail this all-time high level of 167650 and fell the Apple level of 18268, that would be a perfect marrying of two events to bring the market not down, but into healthy consolidation. And then what level would we be watching next? This 16457 level. So on a pullback, we're going to be watching that zone like eagle-eyed traders that we are. All right, Dan will be live in the chat room in 20 minutes, you TCG members, and that's why my show lasts about 20 to 25 minutes. We have a potential hourly bull flag on Nasdaq. I think aggressive bears may have setups top fishing lower highs on names that were weak yesterday, like Amazon. However, don't make it a hard row to hoe, as my grandma would say. Let's stick with the easier setups, which would be waiting for pullbacks and getting those hourly higher lows on names like Roblox. That would be an easier setup. I'm going to go ahead and give you the cheat sheet now. My queen of the mountain today is Netflix. Netflix to the long side. Yeah, Kelly, Amazon was having a bad day yesterday, but as part of TCG, and I'm sure other traders have noticed this, not just the chart guys, but we have noticed that the last name to run in QQQ is typically Amazon. So Amazon, I think it's a beautiful thing that Amazon didn't run yesterday. Look at where we are on Nasdaq. Look at where we are on ES. And look at Amazon. This is one of our big pillars in our world, a huge pillar. And it had a terrible day, and the market still went up. That type of rotation keeps the market bulls in play. Let's play musical chairs. Okay, tag, you're it. Your turn, Apple. Okay, tag, you're it. Google, your turn. Tag, you're it. Tesla, your turn. Tag, you're it. Now, when are they going to tag in Amazon? I don't know. Could Bezos have been selling to fund his yacht activities yesterday? Absolutely. It doesn't matter. We have to notice when something has a bearish divergence and is a laggard to the market and a relative underperformer and play it as such. So on any bounce, Amazon bears would be looking to pounce against yesterday's high. So always recognizing that, yes, there are some laggards. And let me just keep going with that thought. My tax loss harvesting list that I keep showing y'all, I keep adding to it. Look at these names: DawQ, Stitch Fix, UPST, which it had a great day yesterday, FSLY, Zoom, TDoc, LMND, I saw FSLY, DKNG, Piton. These names carried us part of last year, maybe all of last year like Zoom. And then this year, they crapped the bed all year. Excuse my language. Well, that's kind of good for the market. If every name we had was up at all-time highs, I would be looking short everything because we're not having healthy rotation. All of these names got the year off. They got the year off. CRSR, Corsair Gaming, used to be a big one. Pinterest was amazing last year. So these names that got the year off or half the year off, that is beautiful for the market, and that has me continuing to look bullish because we have names that we can say, tag, you're it, and they can step up and be bullish. Okay, I'm going to go back and read the chat in a bit, y'all. I'm falling behind and keeping up with the chat, but I appreciate you allowing me to just stay with the flow. All right, let's look at RTY. I am Chatty Cathy today. Support 2251, 2222. 4 hour, I can make a case for a rising wedge, but what is a rising wedge, folks? A rising wedge is a series of higher highs and higher lows. How is that bearish? That isn't. So don't get overly carried away if you see rising wedges, because rising wedges continue to break out to all-time high, especially when the overall market is at all-time highs, which ES is. So RTY is approaching a very key level, 2279.90. So key, I'm going to put an alarm there. Tell me when I'm going to do it a few points ahead of time, because that could mean just a pause in the market. YM all-time high, 36446, and we are very close to that. Could be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Bitcoin, overall definite bearish divergence to the market. We have 4 hour inside bars resistance, 49467, 48806. This could be interpreted as two things. Is Bitcoin, is it a laggard and a market underperformer, and is this bearish divergence for Bitcoin? Or is this bearish divergence for the market? Is this a heads up? Is Bitcoin doing a shot across the bow saying we may have some incoming consolidation into the market? I don't know which way to interpret that, so I'm just going to leave it there, but it is something to just ponder on. 4 hour inside bars on Ethereum, resistance 3935, 3885. One word on crypto, the Build Back Better Act that was delayed last Sunday night before last, what was that, the 19th? It would have closed a tax loophole for crypto investors. So what I was anticipating was a sell-off into the end of the year people booking those tax losses, tax loss harvesting, plus taking advantage of the wash sell rule not being in effect, and then they could just reestablish their position and buy back lower January 1. That's a non-issue at the moment because that Build Better Act was delayed. So just something to remember and keep in the back of your mind. Gold. Yeah, let's finish this year profitable. That'd be nice. So next resistance on gold, I'm using a prior resistance of 1836. That kind of stood out. Look at all these levels we had at 1830s. So definitely gold is acting bullish. The dollar has been weak and gold is taking advantage of that. Your next support on the 4-hour, 1803. Here is a setup I'm currently in. So we have this potential weekly head and shoulders on oil. So if this were to be a bearish head and shoulders pattern, we are in the symmetrical area, meaning if we want symmetrical shoulders on our 80s shoulder pad, $77 is the area for price to pause. And so I shorted oil this morning, and we are also at the 0.618 retrace, the golden pocket. We're in that area. So I'm now shorting oil. I posted my entry in commodities and chart guide community real time. I actually posted it before I even entered, which I shouldn't be doing that, but I did. So 7609 is the next support from oil and for oil. And I'm going to put my stop around 77.25. We have API estimates today after hours at 4:30, and we have inventory tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. I always get my times mixed up because I moved from Mountain Time to Pacific Time, and man, it just messed with my head. Nat gas. I shorted Nat gas yesterday. I'm still in that short, and I posted my entry in the room. So on the weekly, we're still looking for a lower high. This could be a bear flag. Now, overall, I am looking for a long entry in Nat gas to nail this monthly high or low. But if you're going to keep giving back gains like they do, I'm just going to play what is, not what I think will be. And I will probably close this short soon around $4. Let me jump to XLE since we just covered oil so you can catch what I'm throwing, pick up what I'm putting down. So resistance on XLE, 56.64 right here, 56.64. So I'm looking for a top fish level. Now, XLE works with SPY and oil. So if SPY is raging bull and oil is slightly pulling back, that will propel XLE bullishly despite any oil weakness. So the daily 50 MA is overhead, and I'm looking for a short against 56.64, and I have way too many charts pulled up today for my liking, so I will have to get rid of a few, but XLE is a queen of the mountain short for me today. The levels are clear, super clear, super clear. I covered Apple. ARC, something to be aware of. The distribution should happen tomorrow. So look what happened. Last year, December 29th, distribution, ex-divvy date. December 27th, 19 cents over here in 2019. So what happened is 3 business days before the end of the year is when the ex-divvy date happened. So ARC sold a lot of stock yesterday to pay for their ex-divvy date. So if they're keeping up with the same schedule, the ex-divvy date would be tomorrow, even though it's not announced on their chart, which normally you would have a D here for dividend. Something to be aware of. We have a daily inside bar. If you're an ARC investor, you just need to know that's likely to happen. I'm going to skip this one, but I like CCL short. It did get a higher high. It did close green, not close green, but closed higher than it did the day before. But a top fish of 21.13, I'd make it 21.15 would be prudent. Makes a lot of sense. DLTR. This is one pretty chart with a squeeze, RSI curling up, volume increasing. We got over that resistance of 137.95. We have an hourly squeeze. I like this chart. So what you could do is wait for a pullback and bottom fish 137.71. And that would be ideal if 5-minute RSI was oversold. Netflix. This is something Dan posted. I can't take credit for finding this. I wasn't even looking at Netflix this morning, oddly enough. But he posted this daily inside bar. It made me go look at it. That is a gorgeous hourly squeeze. We are skirting that 50 RSI. Skirt. So over 615, I love Netflix. This is my queen of the mountain. I will not take this chart off. This is my number one setup for today. Roblox, I'm going to definitely take this one off. Even though I like this test of the daily downtrend line, we're testing the 50 RSI, increasing bull volume yesterday. We have the 21 EMA chopping us in the throat overhead, but I like this chart to the long side, but I don't like it as much as Netflix. So that's how I do my, I literally mean queen of the mountain when I say queen of the mountain. I see these charts duking it out for my attention, and I'm only going to give my attention to the very best charts. I would say this is a B++ setup, though. This is a great setup, but it's just not as good as Netflix for me. Now, will Netflix work? Maybe not, but I like it. Downtrend, testing downtrend line daily and weekly inside bars on Twilio. Support of 260.69. So I like this to the long side. Twilio normally has some get up and go. I like the way it goes when it goes. And obviously it has not been going recently, downtrend, but I like it long. And XLE I like to the short side. Wow. Where is your first target for oil? Kids Hub, you want to know the indicators I'm using on TradingView? Rewind about 20 minutes and I have them on my chart. I use the 8 and 21 EMA. I use the 50 simple moving average. The yellow candles indicate inside bars, daily inside bars, and I use the Squeeze Pro indicator and RSI. So I talked to y'all yesterday about KLAC. I gave y'all a free swing report name. So the swing report is a service that's very reasonably priced, in my opinion, as part of the Chart Guys service. I run that division. We have an awesome team of approximately 5 brilliant people and me. I won't put myself in the brilliant category, but we have some pretty smart people working on it. We have a daily squeeze. This chart took off yesterday, had a 5% day, and this was a swing report name that I let y'all know about for free. So we will be having a swing report promotion next month. Be on the lookout for that if you want to get this service. And we give you names every weekend and overall macro view of the market. So on oil, Peebo, I don't do targets. I don't like targets at all. I don't like it. But I would say my first target would be 73.50, but I don't do targets. To me, it's a self-limiting belief. I'm already up to $200 on that little QM short, the one contract. I didn't do CL because I'm trying to take it easy into the end of the year. But I would say a pullback to the daily EMAs would be prudent. But if we want to get real technical, which that's what we do, the measured move on any head and shoulders bear break would be $23 below $62. So that would be $40. I'm not targeting $40. I'm not that ambitious with this short because oil has been bullish for a while. And we could have a monthly bull flag. So I got to be careful and look for that faux head and shoulder. So I'm just going to take it easy. I'm going to take it 1 hour at a time with my oil short. Hey, Edwin. Yeah, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. I love NVDA and I love Microsoft. I just sometimes am a little hesitant to bring y'all names when the RSI is extended like this and we're not in all-time high territory. But this chart has great bull volume this morning. It could keep running for sure. It may have some healthy consolidation. So someone asked me about Microsoft. Beautiful. Very close to the all-time high. Again, self-fulfilling prophecy. Love this chart. Love this chart. Actually, I like it better than NVIDIA. Another trivia day giveaway. Let me think about that. Oh, Sonoma, that's nice. You are very nice saying I'm brilliant. I am a Louisiana SEC educated girl who had some entrepreneurs as grandparents and parents who had no college education, but they taught me how to think outside the box, and I think that's good enough. All right. Let's end this year profitable. Okay, I'm going to do one name because you asked nicely, Mara Asia. Okay. That's beautiful. You know what that looks like to me? Now, this isn't ideal. It looks like a daily cup and handle, but they need to hold that 0.382. Where would that be? 203. They need to hold 203. And I also have to go look at silver, which I don't know if I have enough time to do that. You have a daily inside bar, resistance 213, support 206. Okay, just because you're a TCG member and I'm going to make sure that I do right by you. Let's go look at silver. Ugh. Silver's not as nice. It's running into the daily 50 MA. So that may hurt your DSV setup if silver pulls back in this area, which would be a logical area to pull back here at the daily 50 MA. All right, that's it for me. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notify button. Come join TCG. Follow me on Twitter. Just do all the things. And most importantly, use stop losses.